Rude beats, love the acid. Rude beats, love the acid.
Hello? Hi. Okay, let's play some poker then. Oh, come on. It's very dead again. Am I picking the worst time to stream or what? King 9 here, with this rig structure, quite break-even defend. Gonna go for it this time. I'm here with a gut shot and a flush draw. I'm probably going to raise actually. Here gonna go for a 40% bet quite often. I hope I'm showing the right tab. Here I'm raising because we have some equity, not really any showdown value, and it's very unlikely we can call 2 bets. So I do like the raise. And here, should we bluff the river? I mean, we're losing against anything like King X of Hearts, Queen X of Hearts. And he might still have quite a lot of those. I don't think he's gonna call a high card. I also don't think he's ever folding an ace. So I'd rather risk a bit less and go for a small bet. Bottom right, we have kings against a recreational who just folded to our 3-bet once, so hopefully he gets a bit annoyed and starts calling now. This is gonna be a range bet for me. Very difficult to defend enough, and I think it's a range bet even in theory, but when the field overfolds and under check raises, it's even better to go for a range bet. Against one check raise, I think I have to call, of course. Thing is, it's very difficult to overbluff a check raise here. It's not a very intuitive spot to check raise, and then there aren't really any draws available, so you'd have to find quite unintuitive check raises. And now on the turn, I think I can just fold. With queens, it's true we block some of his value, king queen in particular. But then, yeah, I just don't think people find enough bluffs in those spots. If I have any kind of suspicion that he's actually check raising wide or a bit more aggressive, yeah, I would consider a call, but otherwise not really. Here we're facing a recreational who's clicking it, so obviously we are calling. I don't really like the fact that he's short, but yeah, still not folding against such a small size. And now on the flop, very easy fold. Here against Freestyler, this is gonna be a call. In terms of suited hands, we mostly want to raise, of course, our value hands, so some suited broadways, and then stuff like Jack low, 10 low, 9 low. Against the small bet, definitely gonna call. Do we want to raise? I guess I will raise sometimes, but not all that often. Hi Ain, how you doing? Here he's gonna have a decent amount of queen jack off and suited. Not too many two pairs. I'm thinking, do we want to range bet or not? I think I'm gonna see bet a high frequency, but not really range. Here on the turn we now have a gut shot, not any kind of showdown value, and we unblock clubs, which would probably be, sorry, yeah, no, that doesn't make sense. Forget it about clubs. Here against a small bet, gonna call once with a pair. We're still beating all the flush draws and all the random bluffs he might have, and also we're drawing to a straight. I don't think he has a full house very often, so I think we're very deadly, very rarely dead on the turn. Here, I guess I would like to value bet some king x. Therefore, I'm gonna go smaller. Here with the nines, I could go either way. I don't really want to get 4-bet. I don't want to drive the fish out of the pot, so I'm just gonna call this time. On the other hand, there's a lot of money to be won by 3-betting and taking the pot down pre-flop. And also, it is a hand that kind of loses value when it goes multi-way against so many ranges, in the sense that it needs protection and we're not very often gonna hit a set. So yeah, actually taking all those into account, I would have preferred to go for the 3-bet. Hi Tof. Thank you. I really appreciate that. At the moment there are not a lot of people watching them, as you can see, but hopefully if I keep them a bit more consistent and stream for longer, it will improve. How are you? What's up? Here against 3.5 ISO, I think I'm gonna go for a squeeze. It's not like the greatest hand to squeeze. It's not great to call either against a big size, but the thing is, I think people are very often ISOing according to their hand strength. So I think if he had something very strong, he would make it bigger. Here, of course, just having to fold now. And now we pot here. I would not always bet this hand, but getting some extra equity on the turn. Of course, we could have queen jack. We also block queen jack. And I think it's very likely he's now gonna fold something like a 9. I'm gonna go for another pot size bet and probably gonna give up the river if he calls. Hola José, ¿cómo estás? Here on 10 deuce 4, I usually like using overbets on these textures and betting very infrequently. So yeah, actually, I think I can do that. Snap check back. I think that could be a 4 quite often. He's gonna have more 4s than us, but he's also recreational with a very wide range, so I think I like going for another check and letting him bluff some stuff. Otherwise, he might have an ace high, which I don't think we're gonna take 2 streets of value anyway, so just gonna go for a bet on the river. Going for a pretty standard 3-bet with ace-jack suited here on this table. Okay, we're facing a 4-bet, that's not great, but still gonna call with this hand. And yeah, here, gotta call of course. Is there any point in betting here? I don't think we're getting ace-king to fold, maybe some ace-queen. It's a good board for us, but I think we also have better hands to bluff with. Here quite a tough spot, honestly. I don't think he's gonna do that with overpairs, like underpairs to the ace. I don't think we can fold just yet, but if he shoves the river, we're in a terrible spot, I would say. Is he gonna... Is he gonna call something like ace-5? I don't know, I'm really confused about this hand, the ace-jack, so I'm gonna mark it for review. Yo, Santia, you still didn't tell me how to pronounce that name. What's your name? What's up? Yeah, so going back to this ace-jack hand that I'm just marking now. I don't think he's really slow playing matches, so I don't think he's gonna have ace-king or ace-queen too often, although... You know, it is the kind of spot where I can just bluff a bunch of main stuff, so it's not really out of the question. But then he could have some lower ace-x that might call a bet. Still, I'm not very convinced on what I'm supposed to do. Here we face a pretty big check raise with a bad gut shot without any kind of backdoors. I think we can just comfortably let it go. If you are using overbets, don't you want to bet tens more often and check aces, kings, queens? Yes, indeed. Yeah, that is true. Also, but like, first of all, on a 7 high, it's still gonna be very low frequency. So even if you bet tens more frequently, it's still gonna be like 50% bets, and then maybe something like aces is gonna be 20%. But that's not really what's relevant in that hand. I was playing against a recreational, and I just think he tends to overstab, so then I can just check all those hands because I think it takes more advantage of that. In the sense that his range is gonna be so wide that He's probably gonna fold a lot to any kind of big bet. But when I check, he has a bunch of combos that can overstep, and I think we're on average getting more value by checking than betting very big. We got some aces here against Okamoto, who did a few weird plays recently. Here I really expect him to 4-bet aces or kings. So I think I will call because I expect him to have the same hand very often. Ace? Ace? Ace, king? Ah! When I meant 4-bet aces or kings, I meant 4-bet non-all-in. So then I think I have enough equity to call, because it's gonna be a flip or the same hand. Oh, we flop a straight here. That's nice. I don't like my snap check. I think I should have definitely considered donking on this board. When he bets 40%, I think very often he's gonna have something. Obviously not always, but people do tend to check this kind of boards. I don't think he's gonna have almost any full houses. I mean, yes, they're gonna have 6s and 4s sometimes, but it's not always an open. And I'm gonna have a bunch of 2 pairs here that just turn the full house and straights. So I'm not really afraid of full houses here, so I can just spot it. Again, I don't think he has many 4x or 2x. And I think he's gonna call this size with pretty much all over pairs. Maybe I should have shoved, but I think that is a bit overfolded. For giving a like to some old videos. That's much appreciated. I will start making a content plan and uploading a bit more soon. The first thing I need to do is rebrand the channel a little bit. I want to change a lot about it. Here we 3-bet against a recreational. We get cold called from the big blind. I think I still like c-betting this hand because this guy seems to overcall 3-bets quite a lot, so his range is still gonna be very wide, and also it's not really a hand I would like to check fold. We have a bunch of turns we can continue on. We have 2 overcards, but now that they both call, I'm just gonna give up. My hair looked like I recently woke up. I guess it was when I had a fringe and I cut it myself. It turned out horrible, really. Means nuts. I don't know what you're referring to. It has a bit of delay, so I kind of forgot. Yeah, here this guy is a recreational, but he's not really 3-betting kind of at all, so I don't like it much, but obviously calling ace queen. Gonna check back and hope we get a 10. I'm gonna call one just because I know he's quite passive and straightforward, and I really expect him not to bluff river. If he doesn't get there, I still think we beat stuff like ace 5, ace 10, split with ace queen, and gonna check the river. Okay, that is unfortunate. See, when I was saying about ISO sizes, he recently just went for 3.5x ISO, and now he's going 4x. Facing a 1/3 c-bet, I'm gonna call one. But again, I don't expect him to massively overbluff or anything 3 ways on this texture. Facing a 3-bet here, gonna call this time, but it's definitely not gonna be... Sorry, here. It's definitely not gonna be a pure call for me. Snap check on the flop. Really don't wanna get check raised with this hand. I think the snap check is quite suspicious, so I'm gonna check back. Table 1, considering that he bets 3 ways. And continues on this turn, I'm just gonna fold. Ended up folding the 7-8 against a big delayed c-bet as well. This will be a 3-bet for me half the times. Half the times I'm just gonna fold. This time I roll low, so I go for a 3-bet. You know, sometimes there's this whole debate about using RNGs, like RNGs make you lazy or that you should or shouldn't use them. I think it should probably be the last thing you're, you know, relying on, but for me personally, I feel like my tendency in general is for sure to be aggressive and a bit stationy. So sometimes it just helps me, you know, not to do the same, like not decide according to my tendencies all the time. So I think it's good, but I also agree with the people who say it just makes you too lazy. Get kings here, let's see what happens. Going back to the king jack hand, this guy calls from the small blind, so I expect he's gonna have a decent amount of suited ace-x and then some low pairs. I think with king jack we have a decent amount of turns to barrel on. We block some queen x, which is nice. And we can definitely barrel, get him off something like 7 ace 9s, why not? Going for a cold 4-bet with jacks. Okay, here facing a big check raise, just gonna fold. Here we face a delay stab, we call, and let's see what happens. He has an ace. Quite unfortunate situation here with jacks, but we do have to call. Come on, let's bink it. Let's hammer. Ah! Top right here, gonna go for a small c-bet against the recreational. I think we can just get a bunch of ace highs, king highs to fold, which is nice for us, and we also have some equity with the overcards and flash draw. Well, the session didn't start too well in terms of results, but I mean, it's just spots where I have to get it in, not much I can do, so whatever. Okay, ace jack is gonna be a 3-bet for me pretty much always. Here, I would call 3s if there were some recreationals on the blinds, but I mean, I don't know who this person is. He might be a wreck. A vertical mouse, like the ones you hold like that? Yeah, I cannot recommend any. I have a like $10 mouse. I've been having the same model from for years. I just think it's resistant and I kind of like it. That might be in contradiction with me complaining about how my mouse doesn't work every other session. This one, like, I think it's the third one I have, but yeah, I don't know, it's silent, it's nice, I'm used to it. If you want some like fancier mouse, I'm not the right person to ask for recommendations, sorry. Here I'm gonna 3-bet just because I'm playing against a recreational, and here with 9-8, I'm gonna go for a small raise. It's not the greatest hand, but I think they are very likely way over c-betting when they go on big blind on this board. They don't really have 6x, we have way more, and it's also a hand that can just turn a straight draw. We should also have a very high check raising frequency. Here it goes check check to the river and we hit an 8. I'm just gonna go 3/4 because this is not, it's a spot where I'm quite capped. So I don't wanna start using overbets, I don't think it makes a lot of sense. Of course we're gonna have a few stop, something like 10-8, 7-8, some 8s, but I don't think it's enough to build an overbetting range. And here I'm just gonna give up. Oh no! Unfortunate. Hi Luigi, I'm from Romania, what about you? My protein shake is done. $68k points to go to level 6, where I keep a 12x multiplier, which is significant more rake back for the next trimester. And when I get to 20k of these like XP points, Gonna get $200 as well. Magisi says the vertical mouse is amazing, totally recommend. Well, I think it would take me so long to get used to it. Like, has it been like that for you? What's the Carpian Tunnel? Also, have you thought of getting a stand-up desk? Wouldn't that help? From hell? Oh no, why? Why would you say that? Here I think Frederick is a recreational. I still think though my hand is too weak to raise. Definitely not folding. I'm considering going for a lead here. I think we could lead, but he's still gonna have overpairs, especially stuff like 8-9s, I would say. Even higher ones, and then I think there's more value to get from his bad check bad bluffs than we would get from leading ourselves on this kind of texture. Oh, you're from Italy, you play 100 and L in your country. What sites do you get access to in Italy nowadays? Here the ace 4, I mean the 3-bet is perfectly fine. I'm just thinking I would have maybe liked to call and get the recreational in the pot as well. You know, like it or not, most of our win rate will indeed come from recreationals, so we want to give ourselves the opportunities to play as many pots as possible against them. Okay, we 3-bet queen, king, queen here. And we get a 10-9-8 board. In theory, they shouldn't really call too much queen jack here, but I'm not sure that would be true. We're gonna have some 9s, some 8s, so this is definitely not a range check board. However, I would prefer different suits. I think this just block a decent amount of folds. Also, if I get check raise, I have to fold it, and it's not a great hand, of course, but it's also not terrible. I mean, we have overcards, we have a gut shot. Here on the turn, I'm not sure if he's a good player or not, but he should definitely be quite careful. And us, we should also be quite careful. I think I'm just gonna go for a small bet, try to get a call from something like queen 10, I don't know, 10 jack. So here on one hand I bet quite small and he might think I'm capped and just starting check raising a bit weirdly. And on the other hand, I think the spot is just under bluff. Gonna call half the times, okay? Because even though it's probably a bit under bluffed, I also think he's not gonna really shove the river as a bluff too often. So if he does shove, I think I can comfortably fold, but I think I should probably just fold the turn. maybe. You can add me on Discord and we can talk there about studying. And about the mouse, how long did it take you to get used to it? It's like hours, days. Here, guess I could go for a check back and maybe a raise on the river if he bats, especially if he bats small. Yeah, I think I'm beating enough stuff to just go for a raise. Not running great this session, guys. Well, Jose, then maybe you should work on your pickup lines a bit. We're facing all in here. I don't even know if I should call this. Guess I probably have enough equity against his random range. Deuce. Nice.
People of tomorrow, forget all pain and sorrow. If you feel you belong here, raise your hands. People of the now, raise your hands for this techno madness.
So here I raise the flop, which I will do very infrequently, and get the dream turn. Gonna continue for a pot size bet. I mean, I don't have that many bluffs here. I would bluff stuff that get some equity. And for value I have some king, queen, king, deuce. And yeah, I really didn't want this to happen. Top right gonna go pot or check. Decent gonna go into my pot size. I don't think I can call a shove here. Yeah, because he can have battery flash draws as well. Tens, bottom right, gonna go for a call.
People of tomorrow, forget all pain and sorrow. If you feel you belong here, raise your hands.
And here,
Raise your hands for this techno madness.
without the backdoor flash draw, I think I can just let it go. I don't know, so I call a 4-bet. No backdoor, just gonna fold the flop. On this one, I open 5-4, get called. On this board, I'm just gonna go 40% or check. I guess potting it would be an option, but I just wanna bet smaller here where there's not a lot of connection, because that allows me to bet more often and thinner for value. Facing a check raise, not much to do but call. And on the turn, with this particular hand, I really don't want to get double check raised. So I'm gonna check back.
Greatness
Here,
is not achieved in darkness.
pretty easy shot for me. I would usually go a bit smaller here with 5-4. I just think he seems a bit fancier and call happy. I still don't really like the size though. It's a bit overwhelming for me. Like I got too many tables and too many things that are going on. So let me just select a little bit. This one I'm gonna leave, and then I'm gonna be left with 7 tables. Six tables. Yeah, I think maybe even 6 tables is a bit too much when I also stream. Facing a 4-bet, we have ace-king suited. Let's get him to fold or call and win a flip. Okay, you've convinced me. Then next mouse I'm getting is gonna be a vertical one. Okay, excuse me, please. Just gonna take a very quick toilet break and be back. Here to gamble. I think it's just super face up, and he's gonna have a bunch of under pairs which we can get to fold. So yeah, 9 high, I'm always gonna go for a bluff against him. ¿Quieres hablar español entonces? Porque estoy aprendiendo y necesito a alguien con quien puedo hablar más. Ten 6-4. Not a board where I have a great nut advantage, therefore I cannot really bet too big. Ace Jack, I think I would go for a c-bet most often, and with Ace King and Ace Queen I would check a bit more often. Now, I never forget to drink water, I actually drink a lot of it. Four 7-7, definitely not a great board for us from under the gun, and We're gonna have a very low c-betting frequency, and this hand is not really making it into our range. No, I didn't see elephant babies in Bali because, yeah, like most of the retreats I heard about,
Under the dazzling lights, I become one with the music. Every movement is a testament.
I don't know if I should call these bats. I feel like they are so face up.
In this electric
Okay, be right back. Yeah, I read about most of those retreats. They are very unethical, so I decided not to. Be right back.
Under the dazzling lights, I become one with the music. Every movement is a testament to my spirit, unrestrained and powerful. In this electric atmosphere, I find my purpose, my strength, and my connection. My purpose, my strength, and my connection.
Guess who's back? Back again. Okay, so not extremely high quality traffic at this time. Playing a heads up table against Cherry Sour, who's seems like a decent rag actually. I saw him going triple barrel all in with queens on a king axe board. In a 4-bet pot, and I mean, yes, it's kind of a standard play, but like most rags in this field don't really find it, so. I think it takes a little bit of poker understanding to find that play. Which again, I don't really see often from the rags on this side, no offense. I think 6-7 over here, it's quite a nice hand to bet. Okay, not leaving anymore, I think this guy is a rack. Because again, we can turn an open-ender, there's a lot of better hands we can get to fold. And there's a bunch of runouts we can just barrel on. On this one, do we really want to barrel? I mean, there's still a bunch of gut shots like Jack 9, Jack 10 he can't really continue with. And I think the ones with the flash draw he would just bet himself, so I think I like going for a second barrel even though we don't get a lot of equity. King 10. Yeah, I won't really 3-bet this combo very often. Just gonna go for a call. And here again we don't have that many 3x. Gonna go either way. We're all super low, so this time I am actually gonna go for a check raise. Here on the bottom table against Here to Gamble. Honestly, this combo I would check raise pretty much every time. And back to this one, we get a 10 on the turn. Here I still think I can bet quite mergy. Gonna go for a bet back to this one. Think against button I can continue very frequently on this run out when the flash gets there, but in earlier positions we can't really continue all that often because it blocks a bunch of our straights and not theirs. And here gonna go for a small bet again. Here gonna check. Okay, we got the fold from Here to Gamble. We leave this, and up here he goes for a shove. Okay, my time's up, but I think I should have considered calling actually. A cold 4-bet with 7s. In theory we should call. In practice I'm just gonna show fold. So I think people don't really here went for a call against the bet check bet. I think blind versus blind, it's gonna be super overbluffed because there's so many combos that miss, especially when the board pairs. Hi Assassinato, thank you. It didn't start too well, but yeah, hopefully the run improves. Oh, got to be too many tables. I'm trying to close some so I can focus on the chat as well. Hi Luis, I'm good. I'm good, streaming, grinding, chilling. What about you? How are you? Oh no, did I just close the one table that was actually good? What did I do? Oh no, sorry. It's this one here. This is decent if I remember correctly. Okay, here against Cherry Sour. I think he's a bit more capable, but still likely to not check raise enough, so I think range betting is just fine. Obviously calling the nut flush draw against the check raise. I don't think 3-betting accomplishes too much. Pero José, quiero hablar, no escribir. Yo sé escribir, pero necesito aprender a hablar porque no tengo nadie con quien puedo hablar en español. Here, gonna go for a small stab. Would be really bad if he goes for the double check raise. This one against here to gamble, I think we don't. I mean, we should check raise this board quite often, but with this particular combo, I don't think it makes that much sense. And here, not gonna bluff the nut flush draw. Winning against the worst flush draw, always nice to see. And here, I think I'm gonna go for another call just because I think he's gonna have a bunch of stuff like Queen 10, even 6-7, flash draws, so on and so forth. And I know he's not really capable of bluffing the river in this line, or definitely not enough. I'm talking about this table, so I like calling a double barrel against him. He's often just double barreling way too many draws as well, so as you see, I got my reads well enough. Luis asks if I stream daily. Yes, I will try to. I'm trying to like get on a streaming schedule and stream daily at least like 3-4 hours with a break in the middle. But yeah, I haven't been streaming for a while and now I'm getting back into it. So there's a bunch of stuff I need to work on. I wanna rebrand the channel and find a schedule that works with my routine and where there are people on Twitch and YouTube. So yeah, I mean not every day, I need some off days as well, but I'm gonna try to stream off most weekdays. What is my favorite game? You mean poker game or just game in general. I think poker is my favorite game, that's why I decided to make a career out of it. And yeah, I enjoy the cash games. I don't really like. I mean, yeah, I don't like tournaments. I would hate the tournament grinder lifestyle. I think playing them recreationally is quite fun from time to time. But I'm not very familiar with the format. Here's 7-8. Jack. Okay, gonna call. Like, usually it's nice to call 4 bets with these suited connectors because they are not that dominated. Here, this is dominated by king queen if we get to make a straight, but it's not gonna happen all that often. Unfortunately, we just need to fold the flop. Yeah, I know, yes and no. I'm trying to play like 100 and 200, but like I'm only playing Unibat at this point, and 200 hasn't been running for a while now. So yeah, I'm playing a bunch of 100. I had a pretty rough run, I mean, in live games. So like I moved to Bucharest to play more live, and I lost a bunch of money, and I also like I wasn't really familiar with how big the games can get, and like I've been playing in a lot of very good games, but they got really big and I wasn't really rolled for them, and also unfortunately the run wasn't with me. So I kind of had a big hit to my bankroll there, and now I'm trying to grind it back. So I think I could definitely play higher, like 400, 500. If I had a roll for it. I think the skill is there, but yeah, I need to rebuild a little bit. So for now, a bit lower stakes, unfortunately. King 4 I will 3-bet sometimes, but not super often. Here against on pass, I mean, I should have some checkbacks, but I think we can just... I look cute, thank you. I appreciate. Against here to gamble, range bet. Okay, so I was right that Pajak is a recreational. The King 10, very nice board. Not sure. Yeah, I think I should just go for some value myself. It's probably gonna have some kind of ace high or low showdown value. Wow. So nice seeing a raise here. Obviously gonna shove. Come on, you have nines. Ah. Yes, here to gamble, facing a half pot, of course not folding top pair. And here we face a big half pot bet on the flop and now an over bet. I mean, with these we do have to call. Here, I'm gonna go for a small bet. I mean, he can still have stuff like 10-9, 10-jack, which would call, and some ace highs, which I don't think would fold here. Nice! Okay, so I think this guy is gonna be a wreck. Oh no, he had the king 10. Fuck. Okay, not cursing. Streaming is my passion. No, I wouldn't say streaming is my passion. I think more like poker is my passion. Streaming poker, I mean, I enjoy it. Sometimes I feel like it's making me play a bit worse, but I think it's a good opportunity to get like different opportunities. Nice to hear you're enjoying my stream. Hope to see you around more often. What are the highest limits on Unibet? 400 NL in euros, so I guess that would be closer to like 500 NL in dollars. And it runs every day. Here with ace, just gonna go for a call because there's a recreational in the blinds. A7, gonna go for a squeeze this time, although I won't always squeeze. Nice flopping a set. Yeah, so 400 NL runs often. They also have 200 NL, but it's very okay, here I don't think he's gonna have a lot of bluffs when he bets that size with the recreational in the pot, but I'm just gonna call and try to keep him in as well. Yes, Forest Man so deep, just gonna call. So yeah, what was I saying? Yeah, it runs every day, but like 200 doesn't run. I'm gonna show you. Just gonna go pot here. Here calling. What an idiot. Like, why would you play like that? I think I'm marking him as a fish. Forest Man, I know he really enjoys slow playing, but I think he can still have some lower ace-x, so gonna go for a bet. If I get check raised, it's bye-bye. Okay, let me show you how it looks even now. Wow, nice. I told you, he's like not really 3-betting a lot, so I kind of expected this against here to gamble 1/3. It might sound really neaty, but like he's so face up and so neaty that I can just fold the flop because I also block the bluffs. So okay, now it's not running 400, but usually you have like 56 people in 100 and now you got like 0 or like 10 or something in 200, and then 400 also has like 2 or 3 tables open most of the times. It's interesting, I don't know why it's like that. Maverick asks if I do poker coaching. Yes, I'm coaching for Run It Once at the moment, so there obviously you can get subscriptions and you can see a bunch of my videos. I do theory and also hand reviews, and I also do private coaching. I used to have a CFP, but apparently it's not the greatest business model nowadays as it runs on trust. So yeah, I do hourly coaching. You can add me on Discord if you want to talk about that. Here against Hufflepuff, I think it might be a wreck. I'm not sure, but yeah, I'm gonna go for a 4-bet. Nice board to see. Gonna go for a small bet. Range. I'm not sure if he's a recreational. The thing is, on Unibet you get some like you get some points and then you can buy rakeback tickets, and with those you can buy in at the tables, but it won't reload. So basically you buy $100 ticket, and when it goes away you cannot reload, so it looks like you're playing short stack. Oh, did you see this? So I bet one big blind, he check raises. I call, turn goes check check, and now I hit the stat on the river. I'm gonna go for an overbet. Oh, same here. How many full houses do we hit, guys? This is amazing. Nice, he called with king jack. Here to gamble. Again, just gonna go 3/4 here because I don't think my range is gonna support much bigger bets the way this hand went. Range bet this one. Yes, here to gamble. This time I'm gonna call the 8-7. Again, it's not a pure call. And here we really need to be careful with betting hands that we don't want to get check raised with, but I think this one is obviously strong enough to go for a call, although we should be a bit more polar on this board. Okay, let's check back just this time. On this table we're facing a probe from the recreational. Here Reddy showed he can be a bit all over the place. Here to gamble goes for a big delayed. Okay, we miss. And here, should we raise? I don't think we want to raise on this particular run out. Oops, sorry, this spot is quite interesting. He check raises small. Bets turn small and now checks. I don't think we want to turn this into a bluff, but if he would bet, I think I would have always shoved the river. Here we don't hit, he shoves, we're just gonna fold. Check raising the 9-6, turn is a 3, gonna continue small. Here Vulpina, also recreational player. I think both raising and calling are just fine. I think I prefer raising because with recreationals they are gonna have a bunch of worse flash draws that will call. Turn, gonna go for something like 3/4 spot. Hopefully get called by a bunch of under pairs, lower flash draws. No, why did I check? What? Fucking hell. I really didn't want to check the turn. Now he's gonna have some ace high flash draws that beat us. He's gonna have some 5-3. Also a bunch of missed stuff, so gonna go for a call. But like, this is so annoying. Why didn't I bet? Ugh. I think I misclicked or timed out. What are you playing, Assassinato? But for you, it's still? What do you mean for you, it's still? Interesting to see what's going on in their lobby. It's great. Even the higher NL 400 games are starting. Yeah, I can show you the lobby. Right now it's pretty dead, but like the 100 NL, it's been pretty dead for a few days as well. In the morning where I played, 400 had like 24 people or something. But yeah, you can see here. That's how it looks like. Yeah, it's quite annoying they pulled out from so many countries. The field was much bigger, way more traffic. Everything was better. Here I don't think we should see bet the ace highs very often. facing such a big bet, I mean, I don't know if we really get enough fold equity by check raising. I think we should just go for a call and hope for the best. And now if he continues betting the turn, we have to fold, unfortunately. Ah! Yeah. My plan was to go for a check raise, but when he makes it so big, especially on that texture, I think we're gonna be against a strong hand or a draw, and most of the draws are beating us, and we're in quite a terrible shape, even if we hit. And then out of position facing a double barrel, pretty easy fold. I think a lot of people, especially lower stakes players, just bleed money by calling twice in those scenarios. Yes, Forest Man, I guess I'm gonna go for a double barrel. Just because he's gonna have a bunch of like one spade hands that are not gonna fold, and he's probably gonna have a lot of lower jack X also. 10x as well. Bye, Jose. Thanks for stopping by. Hope to see you again soon. Yeah, I just realized I played it again. I just put the headphones down because if like I play short-handed and I'm a lot well into the session, just like talking and listening to music and focusing on the play that's quite happening quite fast. Yeah, it makes me not that focused. Oh, okay. Still interesting even if you don't play here at the moment. I get it now. It was a bit of a misunderstanding in the text. But what are you playing at this point? And what stakes? Gracias, José. Hasta luego. Porque ahora estoy muy ocupada, pero en el futuro espero que podamos hacer esto. Mi español es bueno. Here to gamble again. Gonna go for a range bet here, although it's not the theoretically correct play. I think Sloot has done something here that I found quite weird. He showed up with like 7-6 offsuit in some spot where I think he opened from under the gun, if I remember correctly. I cannot check it though. King Queen, I think it's always gonna be a continue here. We're basically beating all the bluffs and it's a much lower chance that he has an ace. Do we wanna bluff this now? I mean, we could probably get something like an 8 sevens to fold, maybe even jacks, and then if he does call those hands, we have some overs, so I guess it makes sense. Although we could also check back and try to bluff catch on the river. I think that would also make sense because I don't think he has a bunch of ace-x, and a lot of people tend to not value bet thin enough. Okay, so thinking about it twice, I think I do prefer the check. And now on the river, and we block kings and queens, which I think are most often gonna be a fold. If he has tens that get there, so we're basically trying to get a fold with something like jacks. Don't think that's the greatest idea, so I'm just gonna give this up. He had exactly jacks. Here would be nice a rack. I don't know what he's doing. He bets way too small, so gonna go for a call. He has 1/3 again. Gonna go for a call. When this guy also calls after calling the small blind is a bit concerning for me. Of course, he can have a bunch of flash draws. 7x of hearts, but like he bets again the Vulpina. I don't think we're beating much here, so I think we can just safely fold. Jack 8-6 rainbow again. I don't understand. I don't remember what it was about. If it's the board where I say I'm gonna just range bet, it's like, yeah, I think he's just way under raising, way over folding on the flop, that it's much easier and profitable against him to play a range bet strategy. I know in theory it's not what we should do. Then 8-6, mostly gonna check in terms of frequency, and this hand is gonna make it into my checking range quite often. Here he stabs big on the flop, checks back the turn, and now the river is a flash. I don't really know what he can have here that's not a bluff. Maybe some 10x. Okay, gonna check and trying to get... I think there's more hands that he's gonna go for a bluff than hands that are gonna call for value. Here on the turn, gonna go for a pot size delayed c-bet. I went slightly over bet, which is too big. I just wanted to make it pot. I don't think he's gonna have too many like straights that check back the flop very often, or better 10x. So especially because we check the flop very frequently, then when we bet the turn we are quite uncapped and we can go polar. Okay, what happens here? 10-9 deuce. I would go for an overbet or check, and then on the king turn, again I'm gonna go very polar, so gonna go for a pot size or slight overbet. Interesting to see they have basically the same software as 8 years ago. Is this from 8 years ago? Like, this is quite interesting because I think it's a really good software. Like, if it's 8 years ago, it should have been like the nuts, right? And even these bad buttons are still not calculating right sizes. If you bet 40 is actually higher than 40 because button not calculating pot in a correct way, decreasing the rake amount. I thought they just like take away the rake from the pot when you look at the pot. I didn't actually notice that. Gonna note log this. Okay, maybe let me know on Discord what's it saying. Oh yeah, I remember the issues with the Aurora thing on Stars. Like everyone was trying to take it away, and they were making like new ways you couldn't take it away, and like the big war against the Stars new theme. It was quite funny actually. What happens here? So he opens with both call, check, check, of course. Here against cheap fat, I mean definitely calling a double barrel with top pair. Against this size, I'm just gonna fold flop. What did he show up with? Queen 3. Okay. I wonder if I have any note on cheap fat. At least I should. Right, he's a recreational. Yeah, we do have that. And here against 1/3, I think this is gonna be insanely underbluffed. Because on this kind of texture, I think he would probably bet most of his bluffs up to now, and it's very unlikely he gets here with enough bluffs to bet that size. I think he's a more decent player than most of this field, and yes, it is easy to overbluff those sizes, but I don't think that's happening on this particular texture. Should I listen to classical music instead? They say it's good for focus. I'm joking, you won't hear me listening to classical music on stream. Ace 5, 8, Jack. Again, mostly I would go with a polar strategy here, but against here to gamble, I just prefer reverting to a range bet because I won't get any kind of value by him overstabbing the turn or doing anything fancy. Yeah, I just think he's way too passive for that. On the turn, gonna go with a very polar strategy of pot or check. On the river, I think this is pretty close, to be fair. Especially from the cutoff, especially his snap checks. Yeah, I'm gonna go for another bet, but I'm gonna mark this hand for review because I think it's actually too thin. Especially, like, did you see that snap check on the river? I think that's a bit of a sizing tell, being like, bet into me, please bet into me. I don't have nothing, I snap check. I'm not sure if you get what I mean, but I think that's quite consistent with a lot of players. Here, ace 4 deuce, I went for a bet, which I don't like. I think I would bet some. I mean, the 9 of hearts is not that relevant. Queen. Okay, not gonna bet here. I don't like my bet on the flop as much. Why you don't bet? Why do I use 3x from the button? That is because I think, no, not because of the high rake. I don't see how it would relate though, the high rake with opening bigger. It's because, well, against 3x, they are supposed to 3-bet more often, especially from the big blind, which they don't. So I think it kind of exploits the fact that they don't 3-bet the big blind enough, first of all. Here are 3 ways. Interesting with this hand. Yeah, I don't think I want to bet against 2 recreationals. Maybe gonna go for a delay. So yeah, I think first of all it exploits the fact that they don't 3-bet enough from the big blind, and second, I just think I'm gonna have a bunch of edge playing in position against most of the field here, so I wanna, like, when I'm on the button against most big blinds, I just wanna play a bigger pot in general. Again, like, they under check raise, they massively overfold, they under probe, they do like pretty much everything wrong, so I think there's just higher EV in general by playing bigger pots. Top right here, Jack 9 is most often gonna be a check raise for me. And oops, sorry, this one, top right. Turn I could go for a double check raise. No, because I don't wanna like get shoved on. And here I think, yes, bad check turn, I can value bet a 10. It's close, but yeah, I think I can go for it. Now he snap calls on the river. I do block 7-9. But now my 2 pair are counterfeited. I don't have that many full houses. 7-5 gets there, which is good for me. So if I don't bluff this, what do I bluff? I think I'd rather bluff something like 6-5. Yeah, not a diamond. What?
While the party is still in progress, we will keep you updated on our current status.
No, I don't use the Windows Notepad. I use Google Drive because obviously I want to have them like forever. Even though people can change their nicknames, not everyone does, and sometimes you have recreationals that come now and they come in a month, and you cannot use the control find, you know. Here, what is he stabbing so large with? So I think I'm gonna go for a call, because he's not snap checking a bunch of, wow, a bunch of flash draws, and then he's probably just betting a good ace or air on the turn. I don't think this session is going too well. Okay, again here to gamble on this straight board. I'm gonna use 40% or check, and with 2 overs, open-ender to the nuts and the backdoor flash draw, I'm gonna go for a bet pretty much all the time, especially against him. Now on the turn again, I still wanna bet my overpairs, I still wanna bet good 10x. And I don't want to go all that polar with my range, so I think something like 3/4 should do the job well. This table's kind of dying, so I'm just gonna quit it. Ace 3, sometimes it's gonna be a 3-bet, but this time I roll very high, so just gonna go for a call. My eyelids are itching, I don't know why. Okay, same here, I roll, no, now I roll low. So this time I'm gonna 3-bet ace 4. I roll a lot of passive actions in this session. Again, rolling really high, so just gonna go for a call. Sometimes, of course, I'm gonna raise this. Okay, he checks. So, do I want to bet? Do I not want to bet? Yeah, I think having the ace is quite nice, because even if he calls a king, I will have an overcard, and then I also have a gut shot. I can get a bunch of under pairs, 9s, 8s, maybe queens, whatnot, to fold. On the other hand, the opponent seems to be a bit on the sticky side, so that's not great. Here, 8, 9, 4, I'm gonna be way more polar, and the middle pair is gonna be like a 10 frequency bet for me or something like that. Not betting super often, almost at all actually, with middle pair here. Nice turn. On the king, I guess, like, we could use overbets, but I think just going pot is fine enough. I think it's a decent simplification. So, Santi, are you still here? Did you no-lock the hand by any chance? Back to the Forest Man hand with ace deuce. I don't see much point in c-betting. It's not like we're getting anything better to fold. Yeah, we do get a few worse hands to call, but not that many. And now facing this size from a recreational that I expect to be face up and straightforward, I think it's quite an easy fold. I was showing the other table at this time. Yeah, I'm sorry. It's getting me a while to get used to changing tables and stuff. And some people said if I show like 4 tables, it's a bit too small. So I'm gonna change the layout and try working around with it a little bit. Squeeze here? No, I roll super low, but like with 2 recreational, with someone who's probably a reg and the recreational, I think squeezing would be terrible, because I basically wanna play having the recreational in the pot. Facing this tab, I'm just gonna fold. Alright, what about like for what size? Doesn't it use the 3/4 in the original sim? Or like 40%? I use 25 and you'd also have to remove some calls, not only raises. But it makes sense, I mean it could be a mistake, I'm not saying it's great exploit. I think it works on most boards, but there you might be right, like maybe it's the kind of spot where he doesn't have to find an intuitive defense anyway, so maybe he doesn't really overfold enough to go for that kind of strategy. Yeah, it's a quarter, not a third. Blind versus blind, it does make some difference, but yeah, fair enough, it might not be a great approach. Okay, here I'm gonna go for a check raise again. It seems like this villain is either hitting a lot of boards or c-betting way too often on boards. He shouldn't c-bet all that much. Turn, gonna continue very frequently for something like 40%, and this hand definitely gonna put it into this range. River, I mean, I could have some Jack 8 here, which I also block. I could have some low flashes. Also, I could have some nut flashes, but so I would basically have a small size and a shove. And to shove, I would want a bit better blockers. This one just gonna put it into my 40 size. I would also bet sets for this size. And I think it's more overfolded than the shoves, because obviously they are supposed to call way more often. Yeah, like I'm not gonna defend the play. I think on that particular board it's quite easy to find defense, so maybe it's a bit of an overstretch to go for a range bet. Going back to this, I generally range bet these boards against more weaker players. I don't think this guy is that weak, so I think I should actually find some checks. On the turn, I think it's nice to unblock the backdoor flash draws. Nice to block the ace queen. The king is not a great blocker though, and also we don't block king 9 suited, so this time I'm going to check this. I'm not sure how relevant the backdoors are, because he's probably gonna call stuff like king queen, queen jack with or without backdoors. And on the river, I think it's really nice to block the 2 suited 10x. I don't really have a time bank, but yeah, I block ace queen, I block the 10, so I think this is a nice hand to shove. And yeah, I'm quitting the tables because I want to take a quick break, go make a sandwich. I won't close the stream, I'll just leave it on a break, and yeah, I'm gonna come back and play another hour or so. Good luck, have a nice session. our friend here to gamble. Yeah, tens are gonna be a mix between 4-bet and 4-bet and call. I think we can also fold at some frequencies, just a break-even hand. We roll a 4-bet against the shove. It's just gonna be a very easy fold.
Is all about
This board gonna be a range bet for me. And now, yeah, just gonna give it up. Okay, I'll be right back. Guess who's back? Okay, let's see if we find some games. Oops. Starting with Queens. Okay, Jack 9, 8. Gonna check this sometimes, but this time I roll low, so we're just gonna go for a bet. I'm gonna bet polar on this texture. Nine is not the greatest card for me when I bet big on the flop. He's also gonna have a lot of offsuit combos, so I guess we should be quite careful here. That's not to say I would always check this, but I think we should lower our frequency a little bit. When he goes this size, could we raise? I guess maybe we could sometimes, but yeah, he's just like so face up. I would have liked to raise. I think it would probably bet bigger with a 9. A lot of people here are just very bad size, equal hand strength kind of people. Queen 5-10 against the recreational. I think this just blocks so many auto folds and also doesn't really get too many good turns. I mean, yeah, we can turn some open-enders, but they are not that great and it's on a flush draw board. Therefore, I would just check, and if he does check back, then I'm gonna go for a delayed c-bet. On turn and river, I think those lines are very overfolded by recreationals and not only. Here we're facing a massive check raise. Guess we could still call one, but it's very close. Because I just bet one big blind, I can seem quite capped, but now he goes this size, so yeah. Gonna fold. Top table. Quite an interesting spot. I guess I'm gonna call the tens because I don't think he's gonna do that with too many better pairs. Deuce. Okay, finally time to win a flip. Let's go. I think that's actually a solver approved play. Yeah, a lot of the ranges I've seen, like I play Manka ranges and it has these ranges where it likes to go shove directly against a small blind 3-bet with ace queen off and tens sometimes. top right, I guess I should have some donks here. I have 4 deuce for 7 exclusively. And I'm just thinking if it's worth doing it with this hand. Maybe I think I would prefer a lower card than a king. The king also blocks some of the folds. I'm not sure if I like this much. And on the turn, I do block some king queen. I'm not sure how relevant that is. I cannot really check call with this hand, and I can have a bunch of flush draws. The fact that he doesn't raise kind of takes some flush draws away from his range, so I think I can continue with a small bet. I can do that with quite a mergy range. And as bluff, this is quite nice because it has an overcard to the board, it has a gut shot again, it cannot really call. They've banned the stream on YouTube, what? Oh no. Okay, let me check what's going on. I guess it's the music. Come on, Forest guy, call King Jack and give me your money. Okay, well, I will have to be more careful with what I listen to then, and yeah, I'm probably gonna close the stream because there's not a lot of people viewing on Twitch, like just you. And yeah, no one can see it on YouTube, so that's quite annoying. Okay, well, yeah, I'll see you tomorrow with bad copyright free music. Thanks for joining, everyone.